Now in today's video we are going to be making a birthday box frame for an 18-year-old. We're going to start off with the basic box frame. You can do any colour, they've got black and white. We have the stick-on Scrabble tiles to make the writing, and there's a wooden 1/8 which I'm going to cover with flowers and petals. So we're going to need a really thin thread this time. It's going to be a cotton, smaller than you would do with the Amigurumi. Various colours for the flowers, obviously green for the leaves, and this is just a cotton as well. We're going to work with that one. A needle, scissors, beads to decorate, and we are going to be using a 0.75 millimeter hook, which is very small. So let's start off by making some of the flowers. Okay, now to begin with we need to do a magic circle. So you wrap it around your fingers, cross over the first one, under, pull it through and grab that yarn, and there is your beginnings of your magic circle. And we keep these two together. Now we go under, yarn up, that is one single crochet. So try and keep them the same length in the loops. Oops, keep missing it. There we go. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to pull this closed like so. And then we need to go back to our first stitch, so we can always check, we can count backwards. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 5th one is right here, like so. And we're just going to slip stitch on that one to begin with. And then we are going to do a half double crochet into the same stitch. So you've got 3 on your hook, and we're going to pull all 3 through, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets in the same stitch. So pull through 2, that's 1 double crochet, pull through 2, that's 2 double crochets, and this is our 3rd double crochet, and then finally for that petal we need a half double crochet to end on. So you're going to pull through all 3 at the same time. There we go. Then we're going to go on to our next stitch. So we're going to start off with our half double crochet, which is in here. So through 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets in that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and we end on a half double crochet. So through all 3 like so. A bit more yarn, half double crochet again in the next one, which is right here, and then 3 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and you're ending on your half double crochet to end the petal. So through all 3. So we need to go on to the next one, which is here. We're doing a half double crochet, and then 3 double crochets in the same stitch, That's 1, 2, 3, end it with your half double. That's through all 3. And then we've just got our last petal, so it's our 5th petal. So we've got 4 at the moment, which is going to squeeze in here. So we're going to start off with our half double crochet. If I can find the next stitch, there we go. Followed by our 3 doubles. That's 2. And 3. Lastly, our half double, which is all the way through 3, like so. So there we have our flower. So I'm just going to pull that through once and cut it off, like so. And then what we need really is for our outer thread to mix back with our middle thread, the one that we started off with. So I always find it's easier with your hook just to go through the back stitches, like so. Put it through the hook. And there we have it. There's our flower. And if you want to add a bead to the middle of it, let's get another pink one out. I need to pull one of the threads through to the front. Like so. And because these hooks are so small, they will fit through the beads. You can catch on it, pull it through. And now we need to move it back through the back of it, but we don't want to go through the same hole, otherwise it will just fall off. So we're going to go even to the side slightly. You just find the right thread that I need, and we're going to pull this one back through, like so. So there's our flower with our bead, and we're just going to tie the back of it to secure the bead. Just a couple of little knots, and then you're going to need this thread when you want to sew it together with some leaves behind it. So I'd leave it on for now. So there we have another one of our little flowers that will go round. Now we're going to work our way onto the leaves now, and I normally use Amigurumi, and it comes with 6 strands in it. So what I've done is I've pulled away 2 of the strands because I want it quite delicate. And we're going to do a slip knot, like so, and we need to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now our first stitch is going to be in the 2nd chain from your hook. We're just going to pop your hook through. We're going to do 1 single crochet, like so. The next stitch down is going to be a half double crochet, so we just pop our hook in that one. So we've got 3 chains on our hook, and we're going to pull through all 3. The next stitch is a double crochet, so we go into our next chain, pull through, and then we're going to pull through 2 and pull through the last 2. That's your double crochet. We're going to work our way back down. We need another half double crochet next, 3 chains on our hook, and we're going to pull through all 3, and the last one at the end is going to be a single crochet. Like so. Now we're going to work our way down the other section, so the other side, and I'm going to incorporate this tail in as I do it. So our first one is our single crochet. The next stitch is going to be a half double crochet, so we need to go into our next one here, incorporate the tail end. We're going to pull through all 3. The next stitch in the middle is going to be our double crochet, so we're going to pull through 2, and then the last 2. Oh, lost one of my threads there. Okay, now we're in for the half double crochet in the next stitch, which is here. So you're going to pull through all 3. Now I'm going to drop that yarn now because I've got enough woven in to cut it off, and this last stitch here is our single crochet, and then I'm going to finish it all off with just a little slip stitch into this first one here to keep it all neat together, and then chain it off. Like so. I'm going to cut the tail of our first end, get rid of that one. It's neatly woven in, and there we have our leaf, like so. So you want to make quite a few of those. We're going to attach them to the flowers, and then they're all going to be stuck onto the 1/8 and layer them up. Okay, we're just going to attach a couple of these leaves to the flower. Now I've threaded a needle with my leaf. We're just going to place it behind till we're happy with where it's going to sit. Turn it over, and we're just going to pull up a few of the strands at the back to secure it in. Like so. Let's get those purple ones out of the way. So you've gone round your flower, and now we're going to come back up through the leaf a couple of times just to attach it through. And just finish it off by weaving it in a few of the back threads, backwards and forwards. Let's cut that one off. There we have one of our leaves, and you can go ahead and do the same with one of the others, like so. Okay, now this one we're going to do the butterfly. Same principle, but instead of doing 5 petals round, we're doing 4. So we start off with our magic circle, like so, and we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we just need to chain 1 like we did before, and we close it up like so. Okay, we need to join the work together with a slip stitch. So we go into this first stitch here, join it with our slip stitch. Whoops, it's come out. And then we're going to do 1 half double crochet into that same stitch. So you pull through all 3, and then the next one is a double crochet, so we're going to do 3 double crochets into that same stitch, just like we did with the flower. Pull through 2, pull through 2, same again, and then the last section on this petal, well, butterfly wing, is a half double crochet. So you're going to pull through all 3 at the same time. Now we need to move on to our next stitch, which is here. Again, we're just going to repeat 1/2, 3 doubles and 1/2. So this one's our half double crochet. You're pulling through all 3 and then 3 double crochets. It does get easier as you go around. Through 2, through 2. That's our second double crochet. And our third. And we finish off with a half double. Through all 3. And move on to our next stitch, which is here. Ooh, didn't pick up my loop. Let's do that one again. So it's a half double crochet. Three doubles. Followed by a half double crochet to finish it off. And then we're on to our last wing, which is a half double crochet. Three doubles. And a half double crochet to finish off with. Like so. And then we're just going to go back into the middle here and just do a slip stitch to hold it all in. And then just finish it off with a stitch there. Pull it tight. And there we have our butterfly. And all I want to do now, whoops, another one, is just to feed that yarn back down to the other one so I can tie it off and make it more secure. So we're just literally going to put it through with our hook. Like so. And we just tie that in a regular knot. It should pull it all together. And there we have our little butterfly. We're now going to attach some leaves to our flower. So we need to use the back of the flower, pick up the yarn, and we're going to place our leaf where we would like it. Just so long as some of it's sticking out, it's fine. You're going to go through the back of the leaf and through your petal, like so, and then back through again, so we can secure it at the back. Like so. Let's find another leaf and do the same with that one. And quite close together. Through the back. Oh, we've come undone of our needle. There we have it, and through again. Oh, this needle doesn't like me today, does it? Like so. And then we're just going to tie the green and the white together to secure it at the back. And that's all we need. like so, and there we have it. We could just snip off those ends like so. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little rose because they'll be quite nice dotted around. So we need your yarn, and we're going to make a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 10 like so. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to work our way back down the chain. So we're going to miss this first one. We're going to go into the second chain. We're going to do a single crochet. Now we need to do 3 stitches of those. So this is our first one. Pull it through, and then we're going to go to the next stitch, and that's going to be our second single crochet. And the next stitch is right here, and that again is another single crochet. So that's 3 single crochets in total. It's obviously caught on a loop. Let's do that a bit better. There we go. Now we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So we find our next stitch, which is here, and in that same stitch we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So you're going to put it through all 3 loops. So yarn over, go back in the same stitch, pull through, and through all 3 stitches. So that's 1. We're going to do the same thing on the next stitch, pull through all 3. It's caught on something. There we go. Right, we'll do that one again. There we go, that's 1. I'm going to put another one in there as well. That's 2. And then in the next stitch, which will be our third one of half double crochets, pull it through all 3. Which leaves us with 3 more stitches where we're going to do 3 double crochets into each stitch. So double crochet, you pull through 2, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2. So that's 1 in the same stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, and the third one in the same stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2. So now we go on to the next one. Pull through 2, pull through 2. This is number 2 in the same stitch, and then our third one in the same stitch. And then we've got our last stitch left for our last 3 double crochets. That's 1. Didn't quite go through all 3. There we go. That's number 2. And our last one. So we're going to finish it off just with a chain 1 and pull enough thread through just to finish it off. There we go, just pull that in tight, and now we're going to start off with our single crochet end, and we are going to roll it all the way down. I'm going to thread this needle first because otherwise I'll be juggling with a rose in my hand trying to thread a needle. Okay, so we start with our smaller end, and we're just going to roll it like so, so it looks like our rose, and then we are going to with our end, tie it through to the back like so, and then I just tie these two ends together and pull tight. And there we have our little rose. We're going to go on to make one of these little balloons. Decorate with them as many as you like. So we're just going to need a stitch marker, a small piece of filler, and obviously whichever colour you want to do your balloon in. Those out the way. So we start off with our magic circle. We're going to go under, pull it through, and grab the yarn. And there's our magic circle. We're going to do 6 single crochets into this magic circle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's a bit tight. Put it down a bit more. 5 and number 6. And we just want to add our stitch marker at this point. I always put it in my last stitch. Some people put it in there first, but I find it easier to know that that is the last one that I'm going to be doing in each round. Pull that bit closed. And there we have our 6 single crochets on a magic circle. In round 2, we're going to do an increase in each stitch. So we're going to go into our first stitch, which is here, pick up both the loops, and we're going to do 2 single crochets in that one. There's 1, 2, and just work your way around. This will be number 3 and 4. 5 and 6 in the next one. And 7 and 8 in this one. 9 and 10 in this next one. And then, oops, drop that one off, didn't we? Let's do our last one, number 10. Move our stitch marker because we know that's where the last 2 are going to go. And this is a stitch here. So we have 11 and 12. So that's round 2. Pop your stitch marker back in. Oops. Can't keep hold of it, it's alive. Like so, and we're just going to give this tail end a little tug just to close that hole completely. But remember, don't tug too tight. You don't want to snap the yarn, it needs to stay on. And there we have it, all closed up. Now round 2, we're going to start with an increase and then a single crochet. So we find our first stitch, which is this one here. We're going to put 2 in there. There's 1, 2, dropped it, 2, and then we're going to go on to this next stitch here. We're going to do a single crochet, like so, and repeat that pattern all the way around. So we've got an increase in the next one, and then a single crochet in the one after that, like so. So if you carry on round, I'll meet you at the next round. Row 4, start again with our increase. So we're going to put 2 in this first one. 1, 2, and then we're going to follow it round with 2 single crochets. That's 1, and the next one is number 2. Repeat that process all the way around. So we've got an increase in this next stitch, so 2 in the same stitch, followed by 2 single crochets. Like so. So if you want to follow the same pattern all the way around, I'll meet you back after the stitch marker. Into round 5, we're going to start off with our increase. So we need to find our first stitch, which is right here. I'm going to do 2 in there. That's 1. 2 in the same stitch. And then we're going to go on and do 3 single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, and number 3. This is our last increase round, so the next one is going to be an increase. So 2 in that stitch, and then 3 single crochets. So if you want to carry on, I will meet you back under the stitch marker when you've finished round 5. Round 6 is just a single crochet round, so every stitch has 1 single crochet. Like so, so there's no increases. So if you want to carry on, I will meet you back after the stitch marker. Row 7, we are going to start working our way back down, so we need to do a decrease first. So we pick up the front loop of the first 2 stitches. So there's our first loop, and we're going up through the second loop like so. I'm going to bring the yarn through and then finish it off. And then we need to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So then we carry on with the same pattern, pick up the front 2 loops. There's the first one, and there's the second one. Pull the yarn through and finish the stitch, and then 3 single crochets. So we're going to carry on with that pattern all the way around, and I'll meet you back under the stitch marker. Now for row 8, it's similar. It's decrease and then 2 single crochets. So we find our first stitch, which is here, and pull up the next loop. That's our first decrease, and then 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and follow that pattern around. So we pick up our next 2 loops like so, decrease, and then 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and I'll meet you back under the stitch marker. On to row 9, it's just 1 single crochet into each and every stitch. Like so. So if you want to carry on, I will meet you at the beginning of row 10. Row 10, we are going to do a decrease and then 1 single crochet. So we pick up the front loops of the next 2 stitches. Like so. Pull the yarn through, finish that one off, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Pick up the front 2 of the next 2 stitches, like so. Finish it off, and then get the stitch marker out of the way. Whoops, it's tying itself up in knots. And then 1 single crochet in this next stitch, which is just here, like so. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you back behind the stitch marker. Row 11, we're back to 1 single crochet into every stitch. So I'm going to meet you back behind a stitch marker. Now it's at this stage we're going to try and stuff the balloon because it's getting quite small, the entrance. So whatever you use to stuff, I mean at the moment I'm using these tweezers because they're quite handy just to push in. Everyone's got their own unique way of stuffing. Like so. I want to try and get all of this in there. So that it makes sure that it holds its balloon shape. There we have it. Like so. Round 12 is a decrease round. So each one we are going to decrease all the way round. So that's our first one. And our second one. And third one. I'll let you carry on. I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Now row 13, we're going to single crochet all the way around. We're getting quite limited now with space. Just bring it up through the neck to catch your yarn. So these should be 6 single crochets. This is number 5, and I'm just going to take my stitch marker out for the last one to get it in this last stitch here, up through the neck, like so. Okay, now we need to cut our yarn. Leave enough, because obviously whatever you're decorating, you're going to want it to have a nice tail. And we pull it out. Now what we need is we need to bring the yarn through to here. So you go in with your hook and you bring it back up through like so. And then we're going to tie the balloon. So we go around it 2 or 3 times. And then we go back through the neck to where our yarns ended up. And we are going to bring it back through like so. Give it a nice tug, and there we have, give it a squish to make the shape, our balloon. So they're a little bit fiddly with this thin yarn, but you can adapt to the pattern and make it with thicker yarn. And it's a nice way to decorate your piece of work. And the next thing we're going to add is this little flower bud on top of a couple of leaves. So to do that we need our yarn, and we're going to chain 10. So we start off with a slip knot, and then we chain 10. Come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to miss this first chain, and we're going to go into the second chain, and we're going to do a single crochet into the following 2. So there's our first single crochet, and the next stitch is our second. and that's going to be followed by 2 half double crochets. So we're going to have 3 loops, and we're going to come back through all 3. That's our half double crochet, and the same in the next stitch, all the way through. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets. Try and find my next stitch. So here, so you're going to come back through 2, and then you're going to do the last 2. So we need to do 1 more of those in this next stitch, through 2, through 2. Then we're going to go onto our treble. So you need to go around twice with your yarn. Whoops, it's fallen off. There's 2. Through our next stitch, like so. You're going to come back through 2, 2 and 2, and the same in the next one. Through 2, 2 and 2, like so. So at this point we're just going to do another stitch just to yarn it off and cut that, like so. Now these get quite fiddly because obviously it's made with a really thin yarn, but to make our rose we need to roll it, like so. And there's our little rosebud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these ends in. Just get a needle. Okay, so I've threaded my needle. I'm just going to bring it back through to tie it around, like so. Then what I generally do is get rid of the needle and tie these 2 together. That pulls it in tight. Like so, and there we have our little rosebud. So we're going to attach these now to the leaves. Now the easiest way that I found to attach them is to use your hook rather than a needle on these ones. And we're going to go back through the lower part of the leaf. So as low as you can get it, like so. And then we're going to drag back through the yarn on our rosebud, like so. So there's one, and we're going to do the same for the other one. Going to go through the back as low as you can go, and we're going to grab this other yarn, the one that we didn't pull through, and put it through that one, like so. Then we position them where we want them, just like that. And then rather than sewing, I just tie the ends, so you get 2 of each colour. And then as you put it tight, just make sure that they're going to end up where you want them. So we'll bring those in a bit closer together and give it a good pull. Just finish it off with a couple more knots. So there we have our other rose with the leaves attached to them. And they don't have to be too tight because obviously these we're sticking to the framework. So it's not something that needs to be moved around. Okay, now that we've got a few foundation bits made, we're going to start sticking them onto our 18 pieces of block. So I use a glue gun, and we're just going to pop a blob of glue on the back, like so, and then position it onto the block. Now all we're going to do is we're going to work our way around, adding layers and see what we come up with. I want to try and cover the whole of the wood, so we're going to feed them underneath like so. So I'll let you get carrying on, and I'll come back to you when I've covered my 1/8 completely. So I finished decorating our 1/8 blocks. I'm going to see what they look like once I've added all the background, and if I think it needs a bit more, I shall add a bit more layer. So this is kind of the figuration that I'm going to go with, and then I'm going to add the flowers around the outside to make a border. So these box frames come with a small piece of paper in the back of them, which isn't strong enough to be able to stick our piece of work on, because this is how it comes, obviously, from Hobbycraft. So what I do is I buy cards which are already done, and I cut them in half, and that is almost the size that we need. But obviously we still then have the wooden surround that goes around, and just to finish it off I put the flowers around the outside just to cover any discrepancies that there might be. So we need to start off with our card, and we're going to move it all onto there to work out where everything needs to be glued into place, like so. And then I'll show you with the wooden surround what I mean about the slight edging. So this is the surround that goes on to keep the glass away from your piece of work. And as you can see, there's a slight difference on the edging, but you can't get card to fit it. So what I'm proposing to do is, with all of our little flower decorations, is to line the outsides like so, and fill them in with all the bits we've just made. Obviously we're going to cut these tails off when we know exactly where we want them to be. We've got various other ones that have got leaves on. And some with beads. Okay, so we'll get on and start sticking the base bit, and then carry on with the border. Now, once my letters were where I wanted them, I have gone round and I've measured exactly that they are all the same distance apart. So we've got 6.5 at the bottom, and I've done the sides. And I've done little pencil marks just so I know roughly where to put them back on. My glue gun is now hot, so I'm going to take my number 1 and apply some glue to the bottom. Like so. And then I'm going to marry it up on the card where I've left my marks. And push it down. Now you will get a little bit of glue coming out the bottom, so we just need to wipe that in to secure it to the card, like so. Just pull that bit off, I don't want it on show. And we do the same with the other one. Now you do need to work fairly quickly with your glue gun, otherwise it will be dry before you get it on there. And again, I'm going to marry it up with where I've left my pencil marks, like so. Give them a firm push, and there we have it. about to stick the lettering down, and I have used my ruler so I can see that we've got the same amount going in, and I'm gauging the paper that I'm sticking it on along this line here so that I know they're going to be in a straight line. So I'm going to start with my H and take the back off like so, and then just put it back where it should be and firmly push it down. There we go. And there we have lined up happy. So do the same at the bottom and then we'll find the next stage. Okay, now that's all stuck on. As you can see, it's not going to go anywhere when you hang it on a wall. And now what we need to do is start making our border that goes all the way around the outside. So we just lay that so we know where we're going, and I would like to add my balloons up here. Like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the white ones and just attach them with my glue gun. You pop a little blob on the back, get rid of any stringy bits, and then I'm going to go right next to the Y. Like so, and again with the purple. There we have them. Now with the tails of the balloon, I'm going to cut them a bit shorter and tuck them under the lettering. So with my tweezers I can see roughly where it wants to go in there, so I'm going to cut it around here. Get rid of those, and we can tuck them and hide them under the numbers rather. Like so, and you can do the same for the number 1. Now for the corners I'm popping the flowers with a leaf on it, so what I do is I grab my leaf. You should have made some of these earlier, and we're just going to pull the tails all the way through like so. Put it where you want it. We're just going to give it a knot at the back. So it's just poking out the side. Like so. And we're going to snip the ends because that's all going to get stuck onto the card. And there we have it. It's going into that corner there. Okay, so carry on building up your flowers so you can add your leaves to them, as many as you like, and lay it out until you're happy with the layout, and then we'll start the gluing. Okay, so I laid all my flowers out all the way around the border, but felt it just looked a bit too busy, so we are going to do away with these ones. And I made some piping which will cover the gap around the outside and look more minimalistic. So I'll show you how to do that. So I have gone with my normal yarn that I use for my amigurumi. I've got it in the light look and white. And then what we need to do is tie a slip knot down one end, like so. And I've gone up a size with my hook on this one. I've gone for a 3mm. So I've got my 3mm hook. We are going to pull our slip knot tighter, like so. And we're going to hold the lilac yarn in your hand, but with the white one, we're going to go over the needle, sorry, over the hook. And you pull through. So you're literally going to, that's all you're going to keep doing. Pull the lilac one through, and at the same time, you're going to wrap the white one over the hook. So you've always got 2 chains on your hook. So this is making a nice cord shape. So if I put it out just to show you what colours you can achieve. So you've got the white and lilac that side, but as you rotate it, it mixes in differently around the back. So you can choose which one you want on the front of your piece of work. So obviously just measure it out to the length of the diameter and cut it off. But I haven't completely cut off my ends. I've left my loops on so that when I get to the end gluing it on, if it's too long, I can unpick it until I'm happy with the length, because it will stretch as you glue it. Okay, now I'm going to go for the white on the inside and have the lilac on the outside for mine. So we're going to start in a corner because I'm going to add the flowers to make the border, which will cover up any joins. And all I need to do is get my glue gun, and I'm going to do it in sections because obviously it's going to dry so quickly. Grab it out, and I'm going to like so. So what we are trying to achieve is to go as near to the edge so it overhangs the edge, because that's the little bit of gap that we've got between the card and our frame. Like so. Okay, if you want to carry on, and I'll meet you when you get to the other end. Okay, I'm coming towards the end. As you can see, mine's going to be far too long. So I'm going to pull back some until we're in with the right length. Just shows you how much it stretches as you glue it down. So that's how long I need it. Let's just pull that thread back through, like so. Snip it off for a second. Makes it easier to work with. And that's where I'm going to end up. So I'm just going to tie this end off. Like so. Give it a really tight tug and then snip the ends. And then we're just going to glue that piece down into this corner. Too much glue on there. and there is your border. Okay, now the last thing to do is to glue in our corner sections, and that's just how I'm going to have it finished off. Now to put it all back together, I've cleaned my piece of glass. We're going to pop it back in our box frame, like so. Now we need to try and hold this as we put it over our frame. Make sure it's all lined up. Like so. And I'm going to prise it up underneath to be able to put the back on. So it'd be easier if I pulled it off the table. Oops. And my glue's got stuck. There we go. Make sure all the leaves are inside. I'm going to add the white paper to the back of it and then push the back on. And there we have our 1/8 box frame. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, and I'll see you on the next one.